Welcome back to DRAWPEDIA tutorials. Today I'm gonna teach how to draw armored Batman Zero. If you are new to this channel, be sure to like, subscribe and comment below. I'm gonna draw on my Wacom tablet, but you can follow my tutorials with any other media that you have, whether it's pencil color, Sharpie or crayon. Now first of all, I'm gonna draw a curved line across for the top of his head. And at the ending point on the right, an upside down V shape at that corner for his bat ear. Turn it downwards with a curved line and flare it slightly out. Turn it back inwards at the lower point. Extend it downwards for his neck. Flare it out diagonally to the right and slightly downwards. Mirror the same set of line on the left side of his head. Now inside of his face, I'm going to draw his eye in the middle point, off center to the right. A line diagonally across to the right and slightly up. Sharp turn downwards. Semicircle turn across to the left and to the inner corner of his eye. Mirror the same shape of the eye on the left side. Below the eye in the middle point, I'm going to draw a line across to the right and slightly upwards. Mirror the same line on the left side. Sharp turn downwards at the ending point on the left. Semicircle turn diagonally across to the right and downwards. Mirror the same set of line on the right side. Curved line across from the ending point on the left to the right for his chin. And inside of that shape, I'm going to draw his mouth with curved line across from the left corner. And turn it slightly upwards in the middle of his mouth. And back downwards on the right side. Below that, a short line across in the middle point for the lower lips. Below that, I'm going to draw an arch curved line across for the top of his chin. Now below his head, on the left corner, I'm going to draw a short diagonal line upwards to the right. Semicircle turn to the right. Curved line across to the right and stretch it downwards in the middle. Mirror the same set of line on the right side. At the ending point on the left, I'm going to draw another curved line across to the ending point on the right and stretch it downwards in the middle point. Now at the side of his head, on the left, I'm going to draw a diagonal curved line outwards to the left and down, semicircle turn downwards. At the outer corner of that line, I'm going to draw another similar line. Sharp turn diagonally upwards to the left. Curved line upwards and to the right. At the outer corner of that, I'm going to draw a curved line across to his shoulder pad. Diagonally down. Turn it downwards and slightly to the right. Across to the right and slightly up. Turn it diagonally upwards to the right at that corner. Inside of that shape, I'm going to draw a rectangular shape at its upper point. Below that whole thing on the left, I'm going to draw the side of his armor with curved line downwards and flare it slightly out. Turn it diagonally inwards to the right and down with a curved line. Sharp turn upwards with an arch curved line to the right. And in the middle of his armor, an arch curved line at that corner. Mirror the whole thing on the right side. Inside of the armor, I'm going to draw the Batman logo with a short line across in the middle point at this upper corner. Turn it upwards with a short line and flare it slightly out on both the left and right. Sharp turn downwards at the side. Extend it down. U-curve line to the left. Turn it upwards. Curve line diagonally downwards to the left at that corner. Sharp turn diagonally up to the right. Semicircle turn downwards. An arch curved line to the right from that ending point. Extend it downwards diagonally to the middle point. Mirror the whole thing on the right side. At the outer corner of the Batman logo, from the upper point on the left, diagonal curve line downwards to the side of the armor. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the right side. Below that whole thing, off center to the left, I'm gonna draw a short line downwards and slightly to the left. Semicircle turn diagonally downwards to the left, across to the left, turn it diagonally up with a short line to the left, and a line upwards at the side of the armor. A short line diagonally upwards to the right. Inside of that shape on the left corner, I'm going to draw 2 diagonal lines upwards to the right at that point. Mirror the whole thing on the right side. In between those 2 sets of shape, I'm going to draw a line across at the center right there. And below that, off center to the left, diagonal line downwards to the left. Turn it across to the left and a short line upwards at that point. Below that whole thing from the same point in the middle, a line downwards, semicircle turn to the left, a line across to the left, turn it diagonally upwards to the left. And on the left side of that, a line downwards on his waist at that corner. And on the left side of that, a line downwards on his waist at that corner. Mirror the same set of shape on the right side. Below that whole thing, I'm going to draw the buckle of his belt in the middle point with a line across. Turn it downwards on both sides and flare it out. A line across from the left ending point to the right. And on the right side of the buckle, I'm going to draw his belt with a line across at this upper corner to the right, and another one for the lower line of the belt at that point. In between those 2 lines, I'm going to draw 2 lines downwards in the middle point right there. Mirror that same set of line on the left side. On the right side of the belt, I'm going to draw his pouch with a rectangular shape at that corner. And inside of that rectangular shape, at the upper left point, a short line across to the right. Turn it all the way down at that point. On the right side of that, I'm going to draw a rectangular shape in the middle point right there. And at the side of that rectangular shape, in the middle, a line across on both the left and right. On the left side of his belt, I'm going to draw his grenade with a line across from the below his waist. Turn it downwards on both ending points at the side. And below that set of line, I'm going to draw a long rectangular shape in the middle point downwards right there. And inside of that rectangular shape, I'm going to draw some short line across from the middle point downwards. At the side of that whole thing, I'm going to draw a line out on both the left and right there. Turn it diagonally down with a short line and out on both sides. Turn it downwards on both sides and slightly to the left. A line across at the lower point from the left to the right. Inside of that, I'm going to draw a line across at the lower point, and above that, I'm going to trace the same outline along the edge of the grenade on the left right here and at this upper point. And I'm going to do the same thing on the right side. On the right side of the grenade, below the belt, I'm going to align downwards at that corner. Turn it diagonally down to the right. Mirror that same set of line on the right side. From the ending point on the left, curve line across to the ending point on the right. Inside of that shape, I'm going to draw a rectangular shape at this upper point, below the belt. And below that rectangular shape, I'm going to align across at that corner. Trace the same outline of the outer shape along the edge. At the outer corner of that whole thing, below the grenade, I'm going to draw his legs with curve line downwards at the outer corner. slightly to the left. And on the right side of that, another similar line at that corner. Below that whole thing from the left, curved line diagonally down to the right. Semicircle turn downwards. Turn it diagonally down to the right. Curved line across to the right. Turn it downwards and slightly to the left with curved line. For the outer line of his thigh, I'm going to draw a short curved line out at this upper point. Turn it downwards with a diagonal curved line and slightly to the left. Turn it inwards at that point. Turn it downwards. From that same point, I'm going to draw a diagonal line across to the right and upwards. Above that, I'm going to draw a diagonal line across to the left and up at that point. And in between his legs, I'm going to draw a curved line across in the middle point. And below that line, I'm going to draw off center to the left, the inner line of his legs with curved line downwards and slightly to the left. From the inner corner of his thigh, I'm going to draw at this upper point a strap diagonally up to the left and another similar line for the lower line of that strap at that corner. And in between those straps, I'm going to draw 3 lines downwards in the middle point. Above that strap on the left, I'm going to draw a curved line across at that corner and another similar line slightly above that. Below the first strap, I'm going to draw another strap with curved line across to the left from the inner corner of his thigh and another similar line across for the lower line of the strap at that corner. In between those 2 lines, I'm going to draw 3 lines downwards in the middle point. Now for the top of his knee, I'm going to draw a curved line across below that whole thing in the middle point. Turn it diagonally downwards on both sides. And from the ending point at the side, an arch curved line outwards on both the left and right. And below that arch curved line, I'm going to draw a long oval shape on the left further. And another smaller oval shape inside of that. Repeat that same set of oval shape on the right side of his knee. Below the knee on the left, curved line downwards and inwards. And I'm gonna do the same thing on the right side. And from the ending point on the left, curved line upwards and slightly to the middle. Curl it back outwards at the upper point. Mirror that same curved line on the right side of his knee. And below the knee, I'm going to draw from the left, curved line across to the right and stretch it downwards in the middle point. Now below his knee on the left, I'm going to draw a line downwards and flare it out. Turn it inwards to his ankle point, and on his ankle point, I'm going to turn it back diagonally out. Mirror that same set of line for the inner line of his leg. From the ending point on the left, a short line diagonally down to the right. Mirror that same short line on the right side. And from the ending point on the left, curved line across to the ending point on the right and slightly arch it upwards in the middle point. Below that on the left, a line downwards and flare it out. Turn it across to the right and slightly down. Curved line across to the right. Mirror the same set of line on the right side. And below that, on the left, curved line diagonally out, turn it downwards. Mirror that same line on the right side. Curved line across from the ending point on the left to the right and stretch it slightly downwards in the middle point. Repeat that same curved line again, slightly above the base of his boots. And mirror the whole leg shape on the right side. Now for his shoulder pad on the left, I'm going to draw a curved line outwards at that point. Turn it diagonally downwards to the left. Flare it out to the left with a diagonal line. Curved line across to the right and slightly down. Turn it across to the right and slightly up. Turn it upwards at that inner corner. Curved line diagonally upwards to the left. Semi-turn to the right and up. Semi-turn to the right at that point. Below that arch shape, I'm going to draw a circular shape at the inner corner of his shoulder pad right there. And inside of that, another circular shape. At the outer corner of his shoulder pad, I'm going to draw a spike from the upper right corner. Curved line across to the left. Semi-turn across to the left. Turn it diagonally up. Curved line diagonally downwards to the left. Sharp turn back upwards and an arch curved line across to the right. Below the shoulder pad, I'm going to continue the line of his arms at the outer corner with a line downwards and diagonally to the left. Repeat that same line at the inner corner of his arm on the right corner. And in between those two set of lines, a line across from the left to the right and slightly downwards. And inside of that shape from the left, a short line across at this lower point. Turn it diagonally up to the right, across to the right. Repeat that same set of line again, slightly above that. And mirror that same set of line at this upper corner. And in between those two set of shape, a line downwards in the middle point right there. And on the left side of that, a short line downwards. Turn it sideways to the left on both the upper corner and the lower corner. Now below that whole thing, I'm going to draw his gauntlet on the left corner with diagonal line downwards to the left. Turn it downwards and to the left. A short line diagonally inwards to the right below his wrist right there. Turn it diagonally up to the right. An arch curved line diagonally upwards to the right at that corner. Turn it across diagonally to the left and up. Inside of that shape, I'm going to trace the same outline along the edge at this lower point and on the right side of the gauntlet and at the upper corner right there. On the left side of that whole thing, I'm going to draw a spike at the lower point with curved line diagonally up to the left. Curved line upwards, sharp turn downwards and to the right, curved line across to the right. I'm gonna repeat that same set of shape again at this upper corner and bigger. And another one above that and bigger than the two spikes. And on the right side of the gauntlet, I'm going to draw a strap above his wrist at this lower point with a curved line to the right. Another similar curved line above that for the upper line of the strap. A line downwards at any point on the right or there. Repeat that same shape of the strap again at this upper corner. And in between those two straps, I'm going to draw a small arch curved line sideways. And another similar arch curved line below that whole thing. Curved line across to the left on his wrist. Above the first strap, I'm going to draw a curved line outwards to the right and up. Turn it diagonally upwards. Turn it back inwards at the side of his elbow point. Below that whole thing, I'm going to draw his hand on the left with curved line downwards. Turn it diagonally across to the right and slightly down. Turn it across to the right and semi-turn upwards. At the inner corner of his wrist, I'm going to draw his thumb with curved line downwards on the right corner. Flare it out to the right and turn it downwards. Semi-turn to the left. Turn it back upwards at the inner corner of his thumb. At the inner corner of his thumb, I'm going to draw a short line downwards at that point. Now on the knuckle of his thumb, I'm going to draw a small rectangular shape at that corner. And below his wrist, I'm going to draw a curved line downwards in the middle point, slightly to the left, curl it to the right, and semicircle turn to the left. Short line downwards. Mirror the same shape of his arm on the right side. And that's all for our tutorial today. I hope you enjoy it and find my lessons helpful. Be sure to like and subscribe to this channel. Also, feel free to drop your requests, suggestions, or any other comments in the comment section below. See you next time.